wonder what lies beneath the city of Toronto? Well, through the simple click of a camera, photographers Andrew Edmond and Michael Cook take us on a journey through a cultural landscape we rarely get to see. Andrew Edmond grew up inspired by art in all its various forms, gravitated to videos, and that provoked him to photograph the mysterious underground sewer system.
I had been photographing the sewers of Montreal, which is where I lived for 6 years, for about as long as I was there. And basically, I just got a bit tired of sticking to straight photography. I wanted to do something a bit different with the medium.
The Toronto-based photographer was inspired by the relationship to the built environment.
Photography just sort of spoke to me as I'm sort of an introverted person, I'm more of an observer, so it's a medium that lends itself well for that sort of thing, and getting to know a particular subject a bit better.
Despite his video installations being 25 seconds long, there's a lesson to take away.
People can understand what it's like to be inside these spaces. That's great, because a lot of times we hear about sewers in the news, and it's a very fuzzy picture that comes out of that. You get dollars and cents figures, you get measurements, but it doesn't really put a picture in people's minds. So if people can just see these things very briefly, then they might be able to have a better idea of something that we're all really connected to. The subway is something that takes us through the underground of the city, but we don't often realize that there's more to that layer.
Michael Cook, the man behind the photographs at St. Patrick's Station, divulged himself into the underground since 2003.
What people can see if they come down to St. Patrick's Station are views into sewers across Toronto, so both in the old city of Toronto as well as in places like North York and Scarborough. This is infrastructure that we depend on to live in the city. But it's also, these are systems that we never see. It's very difficult to understand or to get a sense of how our lives on the surface relate to these underground systems.
He hopes by viewing these photographs, people educate themselves more on the sewer system.
These are systems that we often leave to the city to manage, but the city also asks for us to be more aware of what we're putting into the sewers, of how rainfall works on our properties and where the water goes. And this is a chance for people to take part in that discussion.
What Michael and Andrew both hope is that there is more discussion generated around our underground and sewer systems.
I hope people are able, through these views, to become a bit more familiar with the idea of sewers, the idea that sewers are in their neighborhoods, and to have the chance to take a more active role in discussions around what we do with our wastewater, what we do with rain that falls in our neighborhoods.
They're video clips, but they consist of several hundred images, still images stitched together, and they basically take the viewer through portions of the sewer system. Only a few hundred feet, but they give people a basic idea of what it's like to travel through them.
Maybe it's time to take a second to view what's around you, take off those blinders, and look at those pictures. For Culture Avenue, I'm Payal Doshi.